Hey everyone. We've gotten a lot of communication asking us to provide more information about the Imagine Awards and how to complete the application. So we decided that we would put together this little webinar on how to complete the application for the Imagine Awards, give you some tips on what you should do in hopes to be one of the future winners. So just keep a couple things in mind. Remember that this is an application for an award program. It's not a grant. I know a lot of times nonprofit organizations submit for grants and they think that this is similar to that. It's a grant, but it's not. It's an award. So you remember there's 170 some odd applications that come in each year. We go through those applications as a committee. And as we go through those applications, we pass the top 30 or so to the judges. The judges go through those 30, limit it down to the final 20 that are going to make it to the finals and ultimately the 5 winners. So again, this is an award program. It's not intended to be a bunch of different people receiving monies. It's really one organization within each category that's going to win. We specifically made the application simple and short. When you go through the application, you'll see that in each of the categories, there's a few questions. The questions are limited to no more than 250 words, should not take more than an hour to complete. If you're spending hours to do this, you're putting too much time into it and you're giving it too much thought. Try to keep it simple. The application process is open now until November 22nd, but don't wait. We traditionally get a lot of the applications during the last week and it becomes panic mode. So the sooner you get it in, the sooner you have to worry about the system being tied up, and you can do it at your own comfort. We find that a lot of organizations say that they don't have time to do it because they wait till the last minute. Today is early on, so you still have 2 months to get this in. One of the things that's asked for within the application is your program service percentage. It's something that committee members look at because they want to see that organizations are spending their money in a program service capacity instead of investing a lot of money in the administrative support of the organization. It's amazing how often we see that that program service percentage is calculated incorrectly, and it's showing a 15% program service percentage or 20%. Obviously, if an organization is running only 15 or 20%, that organization may not be effectively utilizing the resources the way they're intended to be utilized. And that's going to weigh heavily on the committee when they're looking at it. So just make sure you calculate your program service percentage correctly. If you don't know how to calculate the program service percentage, feel free to reach out to us and we're more than happy to answer whatever questions you have on that. Another thing to keep in mind is that we have a social impact award and we have a Rising Star award. A Rising Star does not mean it's a brand new organization. A Rising Star award basically is because we didn't have a better name for it. We didn't want to call it Social Impact Light. So think of the fact that the social impact is for organizations over $2 million and Rising Star is for organizations that are $2 million and under. So they're basically the same award, but one's for larger organizations, one is for smaller organizations. So please keep in mind which category you fall in, because if you put in an application for a social impact and you're under $2 million, you're going to be excluded from the process. So let's talk about the process. As I mentioned, we have a committee. The committee is 14 people in total. They review every single application. So like I said, last year we got in over 170 applications. It's a very time-consuming task. People have to go through every single one of the applications and try to decide who they want to push on into the semifinals. So when you're going through and you're putting together your applications, make sure you get your message across fairly quickly. Stay within the 150 or 250 words you have for each category. That's going to be extremely important. Try not to make things overly technical. If you're in a situation where you're in a highly technical area and you're trying to explain something, try to keep it simple, because if you make it technical, you're going to lose the people who are reading the applications. Get your message out there quickly. Don't use boilerplate wording. It's typically not effective. So if you're taking information, let's say from a national organization, or you're taking things from your website or someplace else other than maybe your mission, try not to make it boilerplate. Try to answer the questions that are being asked and answer them in a way that is going to engage the committee members and kind of pull them in. Remember, this is a Long Island award, so you want to talk about the impact that this has on Long Island. It's not about what you do nationally, but it's about what you do and how you make a difference here on the island. Again, the application is a standalone application. The committee is not going back and reviewing your website. They're not pulling in other information. The application has to stand on its own. So assume that the committee has never heard of your organization before, and make sure that you get your complete message across within the word count that's provided for within your application. You need to make it stand out. Think of if you're a breast cancer organization and there are 10 other breast cancer organizations that are putting in an application, what makes your organization special? What makes your organization unique? What makes your organization innovative and impactful? Those are the things that you want to get across. Try to use metrics when you're providing. So anything you can show your impact from a metrics perspective, that's going to be very, very effective. You want to show leverage. So if your organization is an organization that brings in $1 million, but you provide $20 million worth of impact, show that, talk about it, discuss how that's kind of calculated. When you discuss impact, you want to discuss it both from a micro and a macro perspective. Micro being the impact you're having on the individuals that you serve, and macro being the impact that you have on the economy in total. So how do you measure impact? What are the metrics? The more you can show that you're an impactful organization, the more you can show the readers, the committee members, how you calculated and that there is real data behind what you're doing, the better off it's going to be. Include examples. People want to be drawn in. So the more you can connect the judges and the committee members to your organization, the better off you're going to be. Follow the KISS principle, keep it simple. If it's too technical, you'll lose us. Don't be a politician. The questions are there so that we can compare all of the organizations. So you want to get your message across, but please make sure that you answer the questions on the application. Remember that if you happen to have a technology or some concept that you're using, technology in and of itself doesn't necessarily make you innovative. So if I'm a special education school and I'm using smart boards, most special education schools use smart boards, so that the using of a smart board is not innovative. If you explain how you use it and the things that you're doing that are very different in its use, that's really the innovative part. To put it in perspective, last year, DDI put in an application for Google goggles, the smart glasses, virtual reality glasses. And what they did is they created a program that would allow their consumers to, through virtual reality, to go shopping in supermarkets so that they got comfortable shopping in supermarkets. So when they ultimately went for real, they were in a position where they felt much more comfortable and at ease because they had already experienced it. So that's using technology, which is not necessarily innovative in itself because they didn't create the technology, but finding a creative way to utilize that technology. Finally, if you have questions, don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions. That's what we're here for. We want to make sure that if you need something or if you have concerns or you want to go over something, reach out to us. Feel free. You can call me in my office at 631-582-1600. My extension is 203. Lula, in charge of our marketing department, she's at extension 217. So again, or if you want to reach out, if you happen to know one of the committee members, reach out to a committee member. But if you're not sure, call us, ask us questions. We won't write your application for you, but we're more than happy to help. We want to see you win. So good luck and hope to see your application. Thanks a lot.